Hi, my name is Dante Wilson, and I'm a theater arts and film double major. Now, I love theater. Theater is such a creative and such a wonderful type of entertainment. But for actors as themselves, they're going to be characters, but they can go through trauma and tribulations. And today I want to find out how those actors overcome that and keep that theater mentality.
Well, it's a funny story how I got into theater, actually. My freshman year of high school, I was trying to switch classes so that I could have a third period Spanish with my girlfriend at the time. And the other class that I had to switch would end up either being Fundamentals of Theater, Marching Band, or JRTC. And because of my brother, I already had some knowledge of theater because he introduced me to a theater group called Team Star Kid as a kid with their YouTube videos. I was like, well, why not go ahead and just do theater? And somehow it ended up just kind of taking over my life and like being the thing that I realized I wanted to do, because for a while I had been really stumbling through trying to figure out what I actually wanted to do, because it felt like everything I wanted to do was just out of my range of possibilities. But then I started acting and I realized this is something I could see myself doing for the rest of my life.
Well, that's a loaded question. There's a lot of things I love about theater. I love being able to create a spectacle for theater with all the technical elements. I really like fully being able to engulf myself into another different character and being able to portray a story and a plot as that character and work with fellow actors. I've always been a big fan of just entertainment and more so entertaining people. And I really like doing that through stories and through visual performances. And so, I really like that we get a chance to do that. And whether that be from a technical or a performance perspective, I like that I get to have a hand in that either way. So.
I think the character that's impacted me the most from playing was, well, this is actually also my favorite show that I've been in, but in high school, my sophomore year, I was in a show called Over the River and Through the Woods, which is about this guy named Nick who every Sunday goes and eats dinner with his two sets of Italian New Jersey grandparents, until one day he comes to them and tells them that he's got a promotion that's going to send him to Seattle, and they'll probably never see him again except for rare occasions on holidays and stuff. And I played one of the grandfathers. I played Nunzio, and it really it connected me to theater in a very new way, in a way that really I haven't gotten to do since then, because mostly I'm either playing side characters. I've been typecasted as dads a lot, and usually it's just like a dad that's, kind of only there to say that a character has a dad. But with Nunzio, it felt like I really had something to say about like human connection.
One of my first go-tos with anybody, including myself, when I'm facing something that I don't think I can conquer, is the fact that it's temporary. Most things that we're dealing with are very temporary, and through kind of a positive attitude and through prioritizing and through just kind of envisioning being on the other side of the obstacle, it will happen. I think the biggest trick is to leave ourselves out of the equation, if that makes sense. Sometimes we can be our own worst enemy, in that if we can just focus on what needs to be done and don't doubt ourselves in the process, then I think will make for a win-win situation.
How it's been for the past month and a half. It's just it's surreal that, you know, he like it's actually taken out of the show and like he's having health issues. So I don't know.
Yeah, I mean, it's a huge adjustment, and but as long as we look at it in a positive way, for the betterment of him and for the betterment of the show and for all of you guys, I think the better.
And since you've been doing this for quite a while, you probably have your own experience of this. Is that how you like tackled that problem? And like, how did it help you in the long run?
Oh, very much so. I mean, I speak from experience when I say sometimes I got to get out of my own way, especially when I was your age and when I was an undergrad studying theater, and then I moved to New York my final semester, and there were many days where I just thought, I can't do this. I just need to quit. And my dad actually taught me through kind of hard love, and that I would call and say, I can't do this, I want to come home, and he would say, absolutely, you have to commit to it for 6 more months, and follow your heart, get out of your head, and trust in yourself. And after 6 months, you couldn't have pried me away from New York City. I was so happy there. And it all just came from me believing in me. Everything's gonna be fine, right?
Yeah.
Okay? Trust me?
Trust you.
All right.
A few times, yes. Probably the most notable one would have been earlier this year, February 2022, when we did Three Musketeers. We, about a week before open, I think it was the Saturday tech rehearsal, the actor who played Athos, one of the Musketeers, he got sick and he had to go to the hospital, and, you know, without revealing, you know, what was going on, he had to drop out of the show. And I ended up taking his place. And that was a layered situation. There were a lot of reasons why that was hard for me. You know, the most base level and probably the easiest accessible was that it was learning an entirely new part in, you know, 3 days before open. So like that was hard, to take the characterization I created for one character, throw it out the window, and completely, you know, have to transform into another character that is almost completely opposite to the one I was playing initially. In that small handful of time, that was taxing for sure. But I think the hardest thing was the actor playing Athos is one of my best friends, and so for him to put so much work into that role and spend so much time into that role, and then for it to be taken away from him last second, and then I have to, you know, fulfill it. It felt. I know I didn't do anything wrong, but, you know, I felt like I was taking credit for some of his work, and, you know, while I know I wasn't. It was a hard thing. It was a hard thing to deal with. You know, it was a hard thing to have on my psyche. And furthermore, you know, I took a lot of inspiration from his characterization of the character. You know, while I couldn't play it the exact way that he did, you know, I wanted to at least give that character justice in the way that he wanted to. And so, in terms of transforming myself, that helped my I guess my mental process of turning into that character, because I was able to take what he created and I wanted to essentially pay homage to the work that he had done for the month and a half prior to. Not only to do the character justice, but in my mind to do his work justice.